Hello, welcome back to Let's Play Shadowrun, Hong Kong. And we are getting into some of the nastier portions of the story. That's all. Can we talk about something else? Sure, sure, ask me. I'm all ears. I'm ready for my next lesson. Right, good. This one is about people like Auntie Shang and why we need them. There won't be a Q&A session after the story, but I want you to listen up. It's important. Okay? I'm all ears. Haha, because you're an elf. Haha. Good. Yeah, funny. Actually, my ears are bigger than yours. Anyway, on to the story. All right, here's the upfront lesson. Fixers are important. You can't just go to a Johnson yourself and get a job. I mean, you can, but you shouldn't. It's a bad idea all around. This should get us back to the humor, and I should be laughing again by the end of this. By the way, that fox girl I had before that got infected with vampirism. My goal with her was to make her a fixer. Getting infected with vampirism sort of scuppered everything I had planned for her. She was a nightclub owner. She lost that after she got infected with vampirism. Super vampirism or whatever it was. Um, Fixers are important. You can't just go to a Johnson yourself and get a job. I mean, you can, but you shouldn't. It's a bad idea all around. Because you want to tell me why? Because Auntie Chang and people like her serve a purpose. You get a job from her, you can trust she's vetted the client. That's important. It protects the whole team. She takes in a breath, lets it out slowly. You, remember the lesson from last time? The one about Sui and the shiny object? Yes. How could I forget? Well, after the run was over, he went back to the sinking ship for some R&R. Sui told us that the client would be sending a boat to collect the shiny object in the morning. All we had to do was keep the thing safe until the handoff. We were in a celebratory mood. We killed an evil wizard, stolen a priceless artifact. Good night's work by anyone's standards. Honu and Egret got good and drunk in record time, so we went back to his cabin with the shiny object to, I don't know, stare at it for a while or something. I retired to my cabin and crashed out. It had been a long night. I remember waking up to sounds. Yelling, maybe? I was groggy. They were far away. I couldn't make them out. The clock said 4:30 a.m. People were always partying on the raft, playing loud music, shooting off fireworks, that kind of thing. So loud noises early in the morning weren't unusual, but something felt off somehow. I used to get that every now and again in the Barrens. I learned to listen to it. She nods. Yeah, it's a lot like a panic attack, really. That full body certainty that something is wrong. So I got up to investigate. If something was wrong, I wanted to know, and if it wasn't, I figured that I might as well get in on the party. Stepped out into the hallway, and my foot slipped. I came down hard, landed on my ass, and found myself sitting in a pool of blood. That's not good. No, it was pretty bad. So it was pretty obvious by this point that something had gone horribly wrong. My first thought was the shiny object might have done, I don't know, unleash something. After what I saw it do at that warehouse, I wouldn't have been surprised. I shook that off pretty quickly, though. I knew what this was. Our client was playing us. He'd hired us to steal the thing, and rather than paying us for the job, he'd send in another team to take it away. And then, what? He would be paying them probably something smaller amount. Given what happened at the warehouse, I'd have assumed that the shiny object was to blame. Sure, I get that. It did some scary shit back in the warehouse. But it's also been sitting dormant for a long time before Sui and I stole it. Anyway, I got up and brushed myself off, and then I beelined for Malvina's cabin. She was the closest thing to the sinking ship had to a leader, and the strongest rat shaman on the raft. If the raft was under attack, that's probably what I would have done too. Yeah, it seemed like the right thing at the time. If there was a retrieval team coming for the shiny object, then they were strong enough to handle Sui while he was holding it. What chance would I have of stopping them on my own? I figured it was time to bring out the big guns. Malvina was the one whom I could get them from. I passed some pretty bad stuff on my way down to Malvina's cabin. It was old man Zhui Yan's fault all over again. And this is not funny, Gobbet. I came for funny. You gave me horrible before when I asked about Isabel. Now I wanted funny in your stories. But I guess we're deep enough in the storylines that we're getting horribleness. The torn up bodies, the blood-streaked Dolores, I saw people who had been cut apart with machetes, scorch marks on the container walls. She bites her lip, grimacing at the unpleasant memory stewing in her head. Deep down in the pit of my gut, I could feel the thrumming vibration of the shining object, that heartfelt feeling that I had in the warehouse. It was back and stronger than ever. Whatever that rock was, it was awake. Did you make it to Malvina's cabin? Yes. I burst through the door, all ready to spread the news, and someone smashed a gun into my face. It was Cadmus, my friend. He jammed the muzzle of his Super Warhawk into my cheek so hard it hurt, then grabbed me by the belt with his other hand. I wasn't going anywhere. Just over his shoulder, I saw Malvina. She didn't look amused. Some friends. Yeah, well, they were under a lot of stress at the time, and I had just crashed through the door like a charging rhinoceros. She smiles weakly. Adrenaline and abject terror can make a girl do some stupid things, I'll tell you what. The smile on her face dies. She looks away. Anyway, it wasn't an attack. There were no hostile invaders on the stinking ship, and our client had nothing to do with what was going on. Turns out there was no client. Sui had lied to us, to me, because he wanted the shiny object for himself. What he wanted to do was take the sinking ship away from Malvina, so he used us to steal him something that he could use to foment a mutiny. She pauses for a moment, gathers her rats in her hands, and lifts them to her shoulders. They scurry over the leather of her coat and disappear into her hair. As it turns out, betrayal hurts Seattle. Malvina felt it, and I felt it too. Sui had been a friend. I just risked my life to save his like 4 hours ago, and he tricked me into helping him to do something unthinkable. I'd have killed him. Why all this over a heap of junk floating in a bay? I'd have killed him for that. Yeah, well, we're getting to that, but I wanted to, believe me. As it was, I did just about the only thing that I could have to extricate myself from my predicament. I fast-talked my way out of it. I opened up by doubling down on my loyalty to Malvina, Cadmus, and the status quo on the sinking ship, swearing my undying friendship. You know the drill. I did a good job of it, but they still looked a little iffy. Iffy with a warhawk is bad, so I volunteered to prove myself by stealing this shiny object back from Sui. I know, right? Not my style at all, but then I didn't really have a choice. I'd inadvertently helped arm the bastard who was tearing our friends and neighbors apart. I don't think I could have cleared my name without taking his weapon away again. It was hell of a night. I don't want to get into too many of the gory details. Friends died. Hell, friends killed each other. It was brother against brother, all that jazz, and Sui's indiscriminate use of the shiny object let a lot of things into this world that shouldn't have been. Did you get a good view of them this time? Yeah, I wish that I had it, but I did. I don't really know how to describe the things. They were like animals, but wrong. Too many tails, bones in the wrong places, huge open sores, that kind of thing. They were spirits manifested in physical form, I think. Most of them took the form of rats, swarms of insects, rotting things. All of the old pestilence tropes. Sometimes there were colonies of things, all tangled together and moving as one. Not the sort of thing I want to see again, ever. So anyway, long story short, I got the shiny object back from Sui. It wasn't easy, but I got it. How'd you manage that? Lies and misdirection, trickery, rat helped. Some of the things Sui let loose actually came in handy. He'd summoned so many of them that he couldn't hope to control them all, and that gave me an opening to use them to my advantage. I managed to trick my way past Sui's supporters and the astral menagerie he'd summoned. Wasn't easy, but I did it. Then I stole the shiny object, and all was right with the world. And yeah, I'm intentionally glossing over the details. I had to do some things that I'm not proud of, and people died because of it. But I got the damn thing, and I got it back to Malvina. What happened then? Long story short, Malvina put the shiny object to better use than Sui ever did. She took to the thing like she'd grown up using it. We still lost dozens of people, but Sui's side lost more. Cadmus was critically wounded, but he pulled through. After the skirmish, Malvina held an assembly. She told everybody that there'd be new rules for life on the raft. Anyone who refused to follow them could leave, and if you broke them, you were done. Rules of the sea and all that. After the pronouncement, she turned on the surviving mutineers. Honu was one of them. He'd been in on Sui's plan the whole time. She didn't kill them, but she did exile them from the sinking ship, and for people in our economic bracket, that was as good as a one-way trip to the walled city. I'd be willing to bet that they're all dead by now. In the wake of Malvina's Ultimatum, 5 survivors left the stinking ship. I was one of them. I wouldn't have hung around either. She nods. You know how it is. We may have washed the blood off the decks, but the energy of the sinking ship had changed. It wasn't a carefree haven that I'd loved anymore. And as sensible as Malvina's rules were, I wasn't up to living under them. I had to go. We parted on good but sad terms, and as you'd expect, we drifted apart over the years. It's funny, I hadn't even thought of Malvina or the sinking ship in years, until I decided to teach you your previous lesson, and it all came flooding back in. She pauses, turns to you. That's the story, it's finished, but I want to circle back around on the lesson that I gave you up front because it's important. We need Auntie Shang to bring us work, that's obvious, but we also need her to keep us honest, to be sure that we on the team are playing straight with one another. Auntie Cheng's reputation rides on the legitimacy of the jobs she brings us, and that more than anything is why we need her. If we didn't have Auntie Shang or someone like her, we'd eventually tear ourselves apart. It happened on the sinking ship, it could happen again in Haoi. So anyway, that's the lesson. If you've got follow-up questions, go ahead and ask them. I was so on my way to being somebody like that. Well, independent. I was so on my way to building up contacts, and then suddenly, Knight Errant wants to study you. This is not a good thing. But anyway, what did Malvina do with the shiny object? Well, first she used it to get rid of the things we had let loose. Then she put it away for safekeeping. It's probably still there on the sinking ship, ensconced in some shrine or other, held under lock and key. At least she's keeping it safe. She shrugs. I'd have preferred if she ditched the thing, but in the end it wasn't my choice to make. From what I've heard, she's still in power over there, so I guess that it worked out okay. And Sui, what happened to him? That walking colostomy bag was already dead, eaten by his own monsters after I took the shiny object away. Turns out he wasn't much good at controlling them without it. Her voice fills with grim satisfaction. He didn't even live long enough to watch his mutiny fail. Thanks, God. Sure, in Seattle, thank you for listening. These lessons are for your benefit, but I think they help me too. It is nice to be taken seriously every now and again. No problem, Gobbet. I'll look forward to the next one. Yeah, me too. I'm gonna move on. I've got Gobbet things to do. Gobbet things to do. Oh, Gobbet. Okay. Anything else I need to do? I need to take a rest. And then I need to go get medical supplies. Because, man, if I didn't spend a lot of money, use up a lot of them fighting Hu Feng. Oh, please don't be crashing. Oh, it wasn't. It just didn't register the click. Okay. A stabbing pain in your stomach jolts you awake. Your entire abdomen is cramping up. You roll in your cot, willing the shooting pains that radiate from your stomach to go away. Your mouth is bone dry and your tongue is swollen. It feels thick and inarticulate, like a useless slab of meat. Quick glance at your PDA says it's 4 a.m. Outside of your cabin, the rest of Haoi sleeps. All you remember of the dream that you awoke from is a horrible, unfulfilled yearning and a need to get where you were going first. Others were behind you. You could feel the heat of their breath on your neck. If you were to beat them to your destination, you could slam the door in their faces, keep them out and away from what was yours. But if they overtook you, you would feel that terrible longing forever. As you grasp at your last fleeting memories of the dream, a wave of exhaustion washes over you. It feels like you've been drugged. You collapse back into your cot and into a black, dreamless sleep. When you open your eyes again, the sun filters in under your door. It's morning. Okay, so we've talked to everybody that wants to talk. And now we need to go shopping. I should probably go and buy some magic stuff too. Don't mess with the law. No, I don't want to go there. I want to go down here. I need medical things. Because Gobbet has a blank spell slot. Oh, you're over there now. Ambrose looks up from what appears to be a housework drone on the operating table. Scrub up and get me the defibrillator paddles, Noel. I'm installing some headers on this guy's liver, and now we're going to shock him back to life. Ambrose burst in laughter. But seriously, hand me the lube. What can I do for you today? Have you been having dreams, Ambrose? Nightmares. Nightmares? Hell, Noel, that's my life. I curl up with a bottle of vodka and a handful of pills every night, but if you mean the toothy hunting horror dream, yeah, I've been having it. Shit, it's just one more nightmare. Ambrose drops his voice and leans forward a little in his wheelchair. Let me tell you, though, I've been doing a brisk business in sleep aids. Just today, someone asked me for some ketamine. Ketamine, that stuff is horse tranquilizer. What the hell's made them think of that? Can you think of any medical reason we'd all be having the same nightmare? Nope, even if we were all doing something similar intensively, it shouldn't happen. Our experiences are all too different. I've heard of mages and shamans who are somehow connecting to each other sharing dreams, but that's all? Ambrose waves his hand dismissively. Hell, what do I know? I'm not a doctor. I'm just a guy who subscribes to psychological Marlinista. If you want to know about dreams, ask Crafty. My formal diagnosis is that something fucking weird is going on. You have never actually gone to talk to Crafty. Thanks, Ambrose. Okay, show me your services. Cyberware. Oh, no, I don't want to look at cyberware yet. I want to look at medical supplies. And I think it might... How much money do I have? Yeah, I'll take that. Okay. Okay. That should cover the bits I used. I did use a grenade too, but that'll have to be a different shop. Okay. Ugh, that's a lot of money. And I'm back down to where I was before. Okay. Goodbye, Ambrose. Time for... Why haven't you installed some bionic limbs? Because I'm already chromed to the gills. Ambrose taps his temple with one of his only remaining fingers. I don't look it, but I've got a full suite. Quad jacks, no soft radio, skill wire, technical computer, a whole bunch of riggerware. He lifts his dirty t-shirt, revealing a pair of tubes emerging from his side, running down to the wheelchair. Check it out! I've got an artificial liver in my chair. I want to keep my last essence. I've come to like my humanity. I don't want to turn into one of the Walking Dead. The Walking Dead? Oh, come on. You know the names, right? The Walking Dead, Toasters, Chromouts. I don't want to be one of those lug wrenches who cyber themselves to within an inch of their lives and stop feeling normal emotions. I'm familiar. Then you get it. I don't want to be like that, and I'm real close to the line. Ambrose scratches himself ostentatiously with a robotic arm. Listen, I like talking about my chrome more than the next guy, but not right now. Besides, it's kind of a personal subject. You looking for something today? You mentioned essence. Tell me about it. Sure, what do you want to know? Ambrose taps his wheelchair with his 3 fingers eagerly. It's fascinating stuff. What exactly is essence? Ambrose gives an exaggerated shrug, pursing his lips. Well, I'm not sure. It's life force, sort of. Essence is like the ability of the spirit to recognize and stay connected to the body. Augmenting the body reduces our essence. When our essence is exhausted, the spirit quits the body, and we die. There's the popular idea that essence is disrupted when we attach non-human things to our nervous system, but that's only kind of true. If you'd install a data jack or a bionic arm, that's definitely a lot of neural interface. However, if you get a bone lacing or dermal armor, those don't have neural interface, right? But there's still murder on your essence. The body still recognizes them as alien and invasive, so there's something more to essence than just neural interface. There are all sorts of weird theories about essence and biospiritual integrity and stuff. I've tried to read some of the medical papers, but it was like trying to drive a go-kart through a blackberry thicket. Hell if I know what it really is. Is there any way to restore lost essence? No, but there's a ton of research going into it, like hundreds of millions of new yen a year. The person who figures out how to restore essence is going to change the world. I think about it. We might be able to achieve full biological regeneration or even resurrection of the dead. I wouldn't need replacement parts. I might just be able to grow my own body back. That'd be something else. I don't get some of those cloned limbs. Those don't take essence. I've got the aches. Acquired cybergenetic hyperimmunity syndrome. My body rejects all sorts of mods and biotech. My body now thinks the chrome is legitimate and everything else is an intruder. I've got a list of over 70 things I'm now allergic to, including bio-end plants, so no cloned limbs for me, kind of a bummer. No horseradish either, no carrots, no barbiturates. Man, I used to love horseradish. Can you install cyberware below 0 essence? No. You drop below 0 essence, you die. Every hardcore street soldier knows that. Trust me, there's no way to do it. Or you become a cyber zombie. I wouldn't know about that because that's top secret stuff. And horrible. Ambrose shakes his head emphatically, face grim. However, it seems like people can cultivate the ability to carry a little more cyberware. Theorists think it's really just making the essence you've got go further. Ambrose taps his 3 fingers on his paunch thoughtfully. As long as we're bullshitting, though, there are a lot of rumors about cyber zombies, corporate experiments in deep augmentation, going into negative essence. Hell, there's even some... There's the cyber zombies. Hell, there's even some convincing evidence posted by runners that these experiments exist. Yep, somebody named Whatevs, apparently, or something. But no credible medical entity has ever recognized proof. If that tech is out there, it's light years beyond anything you'll find on the streets. Do I think the corps are doing the research? Of course. Why not? But does it work? I've got no idea. How is essence measured? There are a zillion different systems for measuring essence, but everyone is on the street just uses the rule of 6. The rule says the body is an index of 6 essence, and on all augmentations can loosely be scored on how much they reduce that number, because it was a tabletop role-playing game, and they needed to objectify it somehow, make it into an objective number somehow. It was originally the Medvedev-Dirac Bioholism Index. After 2-year early research, they figured that the body had 6 parts. They observed that replacing a limb with an early cyber prosthetic took around 1/6 of a person's capacity. They developed a theory that cyber capacity was based on body regions. Every region could have up to 100% cyber, and the whole body added up to 600%, which was written as 6, and there's some typos there, or some missing words. Turns out the whole theory was flawed, and body region doesn't matter much for essence cost, but the rule of 6 was easy and intuitive. It stuck, so we still use it. Ambrose gives you a crooked smile, his eyes glittering. Essence is cool stuff, and at the end of the day, I don't know what it is. I just know I'm almost out of it. You were a Hong Kong Shadowrunner. I was. He looks down the remnant of his body, scarred and dismembered. I'm sure don't look much like one now. Ambrose yawns and stretches, straining his leg, stomping scarred arm in opposite directions. Man, that feels good. So there's a particular way this kind of conversation goes. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Yeah. We orbit around each other for a while, then tactically agree to speak in only the vaguest of terms. I presume we share useful intelligence washed with incriminating data. We show each other our butt tattoos. Nobody suspect it involves delicacy. Don't say shit. You don't say shit. We gossip. Ambrose looks at you approvingly. The grapevine is this says it's your first rodeo, but I'm not sure I believe that. Listen, I'm circumspect about my past, and you're a new active runner, so I don't want to know any of your story. It's only a liability to me. Ambrose props himself up painfully and leans forward a little. His living eye has an intelligent gleam to it. So let's make this conversation useful. I'll cut the BS and give you some down low on Hong Kong from an expat runner perspective. In return, you don't dig for my jobs list. Deal? Deal. Rock solid. Hong Kong's a good lily pad for a derby crasher like yourself, Noel. The shadows are deep. The money flows. It's friendly to foreigners, and there's no real government. The whole place is run by corporations and syndicates. However, as fresh meat off the boat, you've got to decide who you want to be. Foreign runners follow 3 career paths in the Kong. They assimilate, they burn bridges, and they get out fast, or they die. If you're a short-timer, you can be as violent and splashy as you want, but a Waldle arm swings over his shoulder and points emphatically at you with its claw. If you're in for the long haul, learn the local arts. Discretion, restraint, respect. Get that long-term face, and don't embarrass people. The Hong Kong shadows grind through expendable runners, who are loaded up with bad face and then dumped in Victoria Harbor. So whatever you do, watch your back. Anything I can do to mitigate the risk? Just keep your head on a swivel. If you're only planning to be here for a couple months, then vanish, cash in big. And then vanish, cash in big. But if you want a life here, you've got to play by the rules. The other thing to remember is that Hong Kong is a really complex place. It's one of the great global cities with enclaves of every major megacorp. It's a syndicate town. It's a refugee magnet. It's Guangdong. At some level, anything goes here, but Ambrose takes a deep breath and continues in a tone of low appreciation. When in doubt, assume that old Hong Kong tradition rules. I say that as a loud-mouthed bastard. Be polite, be modest, honor favors, maintain face, give respect, and always treat people's time as valuable. You seem pretty into this. Go on. Hong Kong fascinates me. I used to hate it here, now I love it. Ambrose takes a big breath and sighs continually. I found a nice little piece. If you survive, maybe you can too, and you sure do seem like a survivor. People know who I am, but only in the network. Kindly runs this neighborhood like a separate country. You paddle a boat across the canal and no one's ever heard of me. And never... Ambrose suddenly stops himself as he realizes what he's saying. He finishes like, anyway, it's private. We speak the same language, Ambrose. Good. Glad we both appreciate having a little puddle of quiet. Well, that's my wisdom. Wait, what am I saying? My wisdom is that you can never be too low profile, too lawyered up, or too well armed. Okay. You came here as a runner, and now you're a busted up doc? What happened? Oh, we haven't talked to you a while, so we have built up a lot of conversation. Hey, I'm not busted up, you insensitive dirk. And also my timer went up. So I'm going to go ahead and go to a new video. See you in a moment.